up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
He's stealing away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Graham Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Here we go on a rainy Monday. I am Brandon Beam. He is Austin Ward. Behind the glass tonight is Rhyme Time, Jacob Reimer. Hey, Ward Sports, happy rainy Monday here in Columbus. What's going on, buddy? Good to talk to you.
When is the rain going to end?
Never.
It's like looking at the forecast over the weekend because we got an email. It's like, it's camp week. Super games are Wednesday. Mm-hmm. The forecast is looking dicey. So, what?
Yeah.
I thought we were done with this.
Nope. We had a nice weekend, which is all we can really ask for, and then right back into the muck and the mud.
I guess.
Yeah. How was your Mother's Day? Okay.
It was very good. It's sort of creeping over to Mother's Day weekend, sort of like, you have birthday weeks or Liberty has birthday months.
As it should. Mothers should have an entire month.
And they should have all the time.
Yeah. Father's Day, day.
Yeah.
Mother's Day, turn it into a month.
I don't even need Father's Day. I just need to be able to go play golf. That's
Father's
all.
5 hours.
That's all. Like we were out with the Rupp side at the Little Grand. First time we'd been there.
Oh yeah, right
Sunday.
Down here by the radio station.
Yeah, so everybody was out. That whole side of the family, and we're like, well, we're all going to get together another month. And Patty and Brian and Paul were like, no, we're not. That's not what we're aiming for here. We'll be playing golf on Father's Day, and then when we're done playing, we're going to watch golf on Father's Day.
U.S. Open weekend.
So. Yeah, but I'd never been to Little Grand, thought that was great. The weather was awesome. The kids were all running around playing together. Saturday, because we knew that we were all going to get together, I said, well, what is it, Allie, that you want to do for Mother's Day weekend? Mm-hmm. And I said, she hates to plan things, but I said, I can't do it for you. You're going to have to, what is it the thing, you have the green light to go wherever.
Do whatever. You want to go out to dinner, you don't want to go out to dinner, you want to cook, you don't want to cook, whatever it is, let me know. I'll implement it.
So here's what she said, Beam. She said there's a herd of bison down at Darby Battelle.
Very aware of that.
She said, let's go down there and walk around. And I said, okay.
Big Darby Battelle Metro Park.
Yeah, the Metro Park. She said, there's buffalo down there. I said, there's not buffalo there.
Yes, there are.
They're bison.
Oh, okay.
And I said, there's bison.
I don't know the difference.
So I got in trouble for that. I guess I shouldn't have interrupted. And then I got yelled at by Liberty because I kept calling them bison. And she's like, you're saying it like you're French. They're
bison.
They're bisons. And
American buffalo.
And I said, no, they're American bison.
American bison. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good weekend. We did too. Spent it in Dayton. Played some golf with Bob down on Joe Burrow's golf outing on Friday. Went back to Dayton Friday night. It was good. It was a good time. We played with one of their heads of player development down for the Bengals, and then an assistant offensive line coach who came via New England during the offseason. So I was asking him, I said, what age do we get Willie in pass sets? And I showed him a picture of him. He goes, he's more built like an interior defensive lineman. I said, all right, that tracks. So that was good. That was a great time. We got to meet a lot of cool people down there. Then Saturday, we got to hang out with my whole side of the family. Had a big, not surprise, but for my mom, grandma, all the moms on my side of the family got together for a cookout. Then on Sunday, I had a brunch with Meredith's side of the family. We came back, and then it was her afternoon. I said, what do you want to do? She said, I want to do some yard work. I said, okay. Do you want to do yard work, or do you want to employ me to do yard work? She goes, I'd like to do yard work with your assistant. So that's what we did on Sunday, which was nice. And then it was like 4 o'clock. I said, well, what else do you want to do? This can't just be it. Let's go to a Lowe's Garden Center, pick out some flowers, so then plant. I said, well, what else? That you can't be surrounded just by yard work on Mother's Day.
It's up to her.
And then we went to a brewery because she wanted to go to a brewery and hang out. So that's what we did. So we had a fantastic Mother's Day. Went to Olentangy River, right off 750 and then High Street up there, which was very, very nice. So hopefully all the moms out there, you had a fantastic weekend. You were able to enjoy your Mother's Day weekend like everybody else was out there. We actually got some news right out of the gates here, Austin. We got a great show lined up for you tonight here on the Buckeye Show. Ross Bjork wants to make some changes about game day surroundings. We got that to go over. We had a big Buckeye boom from earlier. You could see Ohio State, Michigan no longer be called the game. Well, it would be called that. It'll just have a sponsor tag on it. So we got lots of good stuff to get into a little bit later on here tonight. But I did see this news right out of the gate. This is not really surprising to anybody out there listening that Ohio State versus Texas will be on Fox. Translate that to
Big Noon.
Big Noon kickoff. How excited are we here on a Monday to start things off here? Big Noon right out of the chutes. Arch Manning's first game, either Julian Sayin or Lincoln Keenholtz's second game as a starter here at Ohio State, will be bright under the lights of the sun. No night lights for Texas coming into the building.
Uncle Bo asked me this morning, weekly Monday hit. So what are the chances that Ohio State, Ross Bjork go to Fox and say, this game is too big. Make it big noon at night. And I said, Bo, it's not.
Is that like Nick at night?
Yeah. I'm like, it's not happening, man. Like they've built this whole brand. They're going to get crazy ratings. Yeah. Well, think about how great the ratings could be if they played it at 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night or on Sunday or on Monday night in prime time. I said, I know. And I know everyone wants it to be a different time.
They're not giving it away.
It's going to be at noon. And yeah, probably in 2026 at DKR, it's going to be in prime time. And ESPN will reap the benefits of doing so. But in the Horseshoe on Fox, which we all knew this is where it was going to be, it's going to be a big noon kickoff.
Now, it is slightly disappointing. The good news is that I don't feel like it can even be in the cards this year with what Ross Bjork has said that you can play 6 straight noon games to end a season this year. I just feel like that is an impossible thing. There is no way. Ohio State wants to throw its weight around. Ross Bjork's done a very good job at that while his time here as the athletic director at Ohio State. There is no chance that you can end the season on 6 straight after the bye.
That is not the sturdiest limb to be on. You're daring Fox to do it at this point.
No, you can't have it. You can't do it.
It's unlikely the way that this schedule is set up. But when you're looking at the big 3, you already know for sure, and it was always going to be this way, that Fox was going to take that game. You knew that Texas was going to be at noon. The way that it shakes out with Penn State, you know that game's going to be at noon. And the last week of the regular season, you know that's going to be at noon.
And I'm fine with the Michigan game never moving off of noon. Again, you will never find a bigger noon game champion than me. I love a noon game, but there are some games that don't need to be at noon and need to be placed under the lights at Ohio Stadium. And Texas was the shining example of that, and we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it. It stinks. It stinks for football fans in general, because if you have even taken a look at the Week 1 college football slate, it's awesome. Like, that's a good time spot for it. I get it. Fox has media rights. This is what they're doing. They pivoted to noon. They get the biggest show at noon. That's their brand. They don't want to run games at night. That's reserved for ESPN and NBC. But, man, what a spectacular environment. I think it's already going to be a great environment, but you really could have lit the kindling out of that place, like right out of the gates with that game.
And I get the argument that people have, why should Fox be afraid of the competition? Why should they be worried about an SEC game or an ACC game? More people are going to watch Ohio State, Texas. Just put it at primetime and let ESPN deal with the repercussions. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, but the contracts were made for a reason. The business partnerships were made for a reason, and the checks are still really good. So yes, I believe that there will be ongoing conversations with Ross Bjork, with Ryan Day, when they have these opportunities to talk with not just the Big Ten powers that be, Tony Petitti, get in the room with him.
Please, Mr. Petitti.
Mister.
Please.
They don't even have to say please, and I don't think that they should say please. I think that they should say, look,
it's just
you guys need us.
It's just how it's going to be.
This is what's going to happen, and we need this amount of night games. And I think that, look, will they get all of that? Will there be concessions made in the future? Maybe. I do think that Ross Bjork, and to some extent Gene Smith before him, have said, look, this is what's important. And then Fox or CBS or NBC would say, well, is this important to you? And they would hold up a big Happy Gilmore-sized check and say, when do you want to play? Mm-hmm. It's right. It says 12 noon in the memo. And they're like, okay, great. Now, I think that's an ongoing thing. It can't stay that way forever, that Ohio State plays permanently at noon. But for now, that's still what you have to deal with.
Rhyme time, it looks like you got something to say over there.
It's kind of tracking with how the years have gone previous with the Penn State game, maybe being a noon game as well.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a noon. And it's going to be the last time you see them on the schedule regularly.
Could be a top 5 matchup, too, which, of course, Fox will want to take that one for sure.
Of course they will. That's what they do. That's what they paid the money for, and they're going to use that for that time slot. It's just we can yell. We can be mad about it. It's fine.
I mean, I guess if you have months to get over it and then process and plan, that's helpful.
Listen,
because Fox is going to draft 3 games to start it off. And what 3 games are they going to take? It could not be more obvious.
You got 2 in the hopper, and then the third one with Penn State loading up with their ex-defensive coordinator coming out and saying, hey, guys, I wanted a contract before the national championship game. Things got awkward. Don't think people are going to flock to that game, too?
Yeah, all the storylines around that one. I mean, my goodness, it's going to be everywhere.
It's going to be
Who do you think made it awkward, Beamer?
I don't know who made it awkward.
The guy wanting a new contract before the national title game?
That seems crazy to me.
That doesn't make sense.
No, that doesn't make sense.
I cannot believe that he said that out loud.
I was shocked when that came out. Like, we knew it was going on. Why would you put your name on that? Why would you do that, man? In what world are you renegotiating a contract before the biggest game that you've had in the last number of years here? With the pressure around your team, you had gotten through the college football season. You lost to Michigan, you lost to Oregon, you missed out on the Big Ten championship game, and you lost to your rival. And then you do the hard part. You get the 3 wins, and the 2 days before, you're going to say, meet my demands. And then
or else.
The day after at 5 a.m., you're talking to James Franklin. You're calling him at 5? What are you doing? What are you doing, man?
I think Ryan Day was still drinking beer at 5 a.m.
Yeah, and I don't blame him for saying whatever he said to Jim Knowles at that point either.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe we just figured it out.
I think we did on the fly. I think we workshopped it. Tim Walton seems to be pretty good at his job. That's coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Have you ever told a friend
Oh, I'm fine.
when you really felt
Just so overwhelmed.
or sent a text
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
when you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
The stupidest show on the station just got stupider. Common Man and Timmy are hosting afternoons. Best friends. Lots of jokes none of us understand. Not safe for work Instagram models. God help us.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Donato's is bringing you huge savings on a large pizza. For a limited time, get any large one-topping Donato's pizza for just $10.99 when you order online and pick it up. That's right, just $10.99. I'm going with that pepperoni. But hey, you pick your favorite topping, Then pick up your large one-topping pizza for just $10.99 when you order online using promo code PICKUP. That's promo code PICKUP. Pick up your Donatos and save today.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy skies, plenty of showers, and an isolated thunderstorm ending this Monday. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Overnight will fall back down to around 60 degrees with a chance of a shower still. And during the day on Tuesday, plenty of clouds around. Again, a chance of late-day showers and storms and highs in the low to mid-70s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
It's time for your daily dose of vitamin B. B stands for Buckeyes, just in case that wasn't clear. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Got Brandon Beam and Austin Ward hanging out with you tonight. How was your drive in? I forgot what evening rush hour was like. It was terrible.
This is new for you.
Yeah, it stinks. I was driving in.
I was going to tell you, it takes a little bit longer when it's not 4:30 in the morning.
Like, what the heck are all these cars doing out on the road?
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget I live in a city of 1.whatever million people we have here. And then I pull onto High Street, try to get onto Henderson, look at the maps, like 315, death. Not taking that. Try to take the back roads. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. There's 200,000 people on the roads. Forgot.
Yeah.
Straight up forgot.
I should have touched base with you and let you know, hey, if you're taking 315, you might want to hop off at Lennox and just cruise on down from there.
Oh, it looked like it was just a mess.
What? Wasn't pretty.
Because usually I'm not going anywhere at this time of the day.
Yeah. Just batten down the hatches.
That's what
Let somebody else deal with it.
Yeah, it's raining. You know what? We're just going to hang out. We're going to hang out.
Yeah, it took the same amount of time that I budgeted for. I don't know. It must have been a little bit of a new experience for you.
So we were talking about the noon games that Ohio State's going to be a part of. Austin was just telling us that Texas is going to be noon on Fox. That's not really that surprising to anybody out there. Now, it can still be disappointing. But everybody, if you're listening to this show, there's a good chance that you're still going to watch or attend the game. You know, if you want to take a stand, go for it. I will still be watching the Buckeyes and Texas against Arch Manning and Steve Sarkisian, game number 1 out of the gates here. Michigan's going to be a noon game, and then likely, we don't have this information confirmed yet, but we'll say that Fox gets the first 3 picks in the draft, the TV draft. They're going to go with Penn State, Ohio State. Penn State's loading all in. It's an all-in kind of season for them with Drew Aller and a couple of their guys coming back. Jim Knowles obviously moving from Ohio State to Penn State to take the defensive coordinator job. And we'll go to the YouTube chat real quick. Craig said, the Penn State wideout does not really have the same effect when the sun is up than when it does when the sun is down. Yes, Craig, I agree with you. They tried to put the whiteout game, was it on Peacock last year for them? I'm like, why are you taking that off of national television and putting that on an app-based service? That's one of the best things that we have in college football. The Penn State whiteout is one of the great traditions. And they're doing, noon game's going to be the whiteout. You can't do a whiteout at noon. It's not the same effect. You've been over there in that building plenty of times.
Yeah, and this comes up a lot with comparisons, I guess, between Beaver Stadium or the Big House or anywhere else. Just put them all in the same conversation. But Penn State games, I always make the point, and I've seen, their non-conference games, or if they play Illinois at noon, it is not a crazy, intimidating place to go play.
It has to be at night.
They need a special concoction, a potent cocktail to really make that thing sing in the way that makes it intimidating. And by the way, it still doesn't always work for them because Ohio State has pretty famously won some night whiteout games there.
I will tell you this, it doesn't work despite the fans' efforts, though. Yeah. They do their job.
James Franklin doesn't do his part, which is the real issue. So
I think that's been their issue for many years over in Happy Valley.
Yeah, so, and you can always read the tea leaves with that as well. What game is Penn State going to have to turn into their whiteout? Because if you ask them on the years when the Buckeyes are coming, that is when they would like to play primetime games. But it's not as if Ohio State alone, and now they're involved in this game, but I'm talking about when they go to Happy Valley, that they're being asked to put this burden on their shoulders, and they're the only team that have to play noon games. I mean, Penn State would have been begging on hands and knees. Let us have this game at night. We want it to be the whiteout, and you know how cool it'll look. And Fox says, no, that's not what we want. And also, here's this Happy Gilmore check. When do you want the game to be? Oh, it says 12 right down there. That's when you're going to play, and then you'll be able to afford the house settlement and to be able to put players on the field. And we can all say, well, that's stupid. And that's true. And we can be mad, and that's fine.
But we watch. That's the problem.
But it's not going to change it. And there's no amount of people that are fans of Penn State or that are fans of Ohio State that are going to turn off that game, which is a remarkable tribute to those fan bases. Mm-hmm. And it is the fans that are being asked to shoulder that load, the ones that want to pay and are willing to pay and can pay the exorbitant ticket prices and want to stand in a bathroom line and pay $13 for a beer. Like, they shouldn't be the ones that have to deal with all of the repercussions of that. But as long as everybody else is still watching around the country, that part's not going to change.
Yeah, and we'll get into that a little bit more later, Austin, in the fan experience. Just being a Buckeye and going to an Ohio State basketball game or going to a hockey game or whatever, going to an Ohio State football game. Ross Bjork shared some thoughts on that, so we'll get into that a little bit later here in the program. We had to make a quick change in the topic in the show sheet tonight, because you texted me this a little bit earlier. Hey, like, hey, do we need to scramble the Jets to get Berm on? And I feel like if you listen to the show or you listen to the station, anytime that Berm comes on to talk, it's mostly about recruits and recruiting, and he does an excellent job with that. And I said, well, why don't we wait for tomorrow to get Berm on, because we got our On the Trail segment that we'll continue to do on Tuesdays here. But there was some pretty big news out of the recruiting world today, Austin. Tim Walton added another playmaker to Ohio State secondary. That would be 6'1", 185-pound cornerback out of Bergen Catholic. That's right in the Jersey area. 4-star guy, composite rank 176, number 18 cornerback in the country. Jordan Thomas is your guy, your newest commit to Ohio State. Now, that's a big one for Tim Walton and this Ohio State defense.
Boy, it seems like Tim Walton knows what he's doing.
It seems like it. Is also a good job giving him a pay bump this offseason.
Yeah, he's done a pretty incredible job of reestablishing BIA as the actual best in America. And I know that there was some uncertainty. There were some questions after year one. And I think if you look back, objectively and honestly at the hand that Ohio State was dealt at cornerback, that it wasn't a matter of Tim Walton being unable to coach the position. There was a bunch of injuries. Denzel Burke and Cam Brown, and then basically everybody on the depth chart behind him struggling to be healthy. You needed to get some time so that he could not just develop, but also go out and recruit, because he has just done a phenomenal job. And remember, Jalen Ramsey talking how highly he spoke of the way that Tim Walton coaches the position, works with guys, the way he communicates.
Jalen Ramsey, pretty good guy, too.
Seems like that's a pretty good judge of that character and judge of a coach. And all that stuff has played out. And it took a bit of a dip. No one can pretend like it didn't. The heights of 2017, 2018, 2019, year after year after year of first-round draft picks, or having 3 of them at the exact same time, that disappeared for a little bit. But guess what? It is back now and really in full force.
Yeah, and you look at the combination of him and McArary being rewarded this offseason as well with a pay bump and a title increase. Safeties coach comes in from, I think it was a year at Indiana, co-defensive coordinator, right? Then comes back to Ohio State last year. Ultimately does a fantastic job. I mean, look at the guys who he had to work with last year. Lathan is a guy who you and I both adore. I think he's going to do a really fine job in the NFL down there with the Carolina Panthers right now. And then, probably the best football player in the country still remaining at safety and on this team is Caleb Downs, and you get at least another year of Caleb Downs. But you want to look at the recruiting well for these guys right now and just the 2026 commitments and the class that they're stacking together. Blaine Bradford's a guy who I know that Tim talked about here on the Buckeye Show, and it was a big deal to go and get him. Blaine Bradford is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is right down the street from LSU. So you go into their neck of the woods.
You don't win a lot of recruiting battles down there.
No, you don't win a lot of recruiting battles. So you look at what McArary is doing on the trail, and then you juxtapose that with what now Tim Walton is doing on the trail, Austin. You marry that together, the developed here mantra, couple of years in the program, when you decide that, okay, we're either going to stay or there's a decision that you need to make. If you can play here, then you're going to be rewarded with a big-time opportunity to come. So always get excited looking at the future Buckeyes and what to expect and making sure that we know the names of these guys who are coming in here.
And I know that we mentioned this a lot with Brian Hartline. Doesn't like to be tagged as a good recruiter.
So look at what he's doing, too.
Oversimplification of the process. And don't want to be known solely for that. But Tim Walton is doing the same things. And I think you look at those two position groups and the way that they play off of each other and the way that they practice with each other. And you're talking about Devin Sanchez and Jeremiah Smith and this next wave and the head-to-head battles and one-on-one opportunities. I don't think it's any secret what is helping draw these guys out there. If you want to get better, it is not just about playing on Saturday 12 to 16 times in a year. What are you going to get out of the practice habits and who are you going to face in that? And the way that both of them are competing against each other and elevating the strength of the program, I don't know that I've ever seen anything truly like it. And that's a tribute to the position coaches. It's a tribute to the guys who want that challenge. Jordan Thomas knows what the situation is here and how many other guys are in that room for Ohio State, that it's not going to be easy to just roll out there and win a starting job or play that much.
He said it. He said, I would say the development is the most appealing part of playing at Ohio State.
That's also, I'm rolling a bunch of things into one here because you talked about Matt Guerrieri and Tim Walton and the way that they work together. That's an important point to make. The position group, the development on the practice field, Mickey Marotti and the strength program. But also it takes a special kind of person to do this. So I don't want the credit to solely be for the Buckeyes because the player has to make that decision too, that is where they want to be. And Ohio State tends to look at programs like Bergen Catholic or like St. Thomas Aquinas, somewhere go down in Texas.
DeMatha. You know the schools.
You can rattle them off. And are they used to that level of competition? Can they thrive in it? Do they know what it takes on the field and off the field? Can you handle the classroom part? Ohio State is not only the national champion on the field, they're the only program in the country that had a perfect 1,000 APR rating. And you can scoff at that all you want, but those are the kind of high achievers that are in the program. So just offering your pledge the way that Jordan Thomas did today, that says a lot to me.
It's a higher APR score than Harvard.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Think about it
for 2 minutes while we take a break.
How do you like them apples?
Then on the other side, everything's for sale, including the Ohio State-Michigan game. That's in 2 minutes. Morning Juice. Not Morning Juice, Brandon. I knew I was going to do it, and I did it. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
Social media is fun, but it's not the whole picture. Comparing yourself to what you see online can be stressful. For more tips on reducing stress, go to mha.ohio.gov/check-in. A message from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Want to see what loan options you qualify for at CME Federal Credit Union without impacting your credit score? It's simple, secure, and stress-free. Visit CMEFCU.org to take the first step today. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The only radio show that bleeds scarlet and gray. This is the Buckeye Show.
I'll just tell you right now.
Hit me with it.
Over under 99.5 times that I say Morning Juice on the Fan as I'm throwing it to break.
I'm going to get...
Maybe not today, but these first couple weeks, I didn't even look at the prep sheet. we're riffing, we're having a good time. I'm like, okay, I know what's coming up in the next segment. Boom, throw that. Things happen. You say the wrong thing sometimes. It's live radio. We all mess up.
I got my keys over here. I'm just going to start putting some notches in the desk every time you do it this week. Because I get to do 4 out of 5 shows this week.
Yes, you do. I'm excited about that. We got tomorrow hanging out. We got Thursday and we got Friday. We got our guy Depot coming in on Wednesday, wide receiver Wednesday with Devere Posey. Excited about that as well. But yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen a lot.
Get used to it.
When I was writing on my prep sheet this morning for the Buckeye Show, I was typing in Morning Juice on the Fan. And then I had to then take myself back and be like, that's not the name of your show now, idiot. That's not the show you host.
Be nice to my friend, okay? We can make mistakes.
Yeah, we can. I was reading this from Dave Briggs out of the Blade up in Toledo. He's a very good writer, too. Follow Dave. He does a really, really fantastic job. I was reading this, and this was an interesting little think piece. He said, now that one of our biggest college rivalry has an official sponsor, with the Battle of I-75 to be presented by Fremont Federal Credit Union, how about another one? What about Ohio State, Michigan? When it comes to the game, what's in a name? How about the Ring Classic presented by Signal because Michigan is watching? Or the Morton Salt Shootout presented by FedEx for overnight delivery of fresh excuses? He's very good. Ooh. Dave's very good at his job. He said, in any case, now that I properly aggrieved everyone, it was interesting to see Toledo and Bowling Green partner this week to untap a creative new revenue stream. While terms were not disclosed, the total of the value of the 3-year deal is believed to be within the high 6 figures. Sounds like a win to me. And again, the sold sign in front of the best rivalry in the Mid-American Conference got us thinking, what about the best rivalry in all of sports? Sure, you remember Ohio State and Michigan has traveled this road before. In 2004, the schools agreed to a 2-year, $1 million deal that would have rebranded their annual college football game, the SBC Michigan-Ohio State Classic. And you may remember the reaction. The natives were not amused. I don't remember that, actually. That's 21 years ago. I didn't even know that was a thing until I was reading Dave's piece, and then I did some research. Like, oh, yeah, people were pissed about this. Let me ask you this question, though, Austin. With a day and age where we're talking about streaming services launching left and right, we're talking about NIL deals, we're talking about house settlement stuff, we're talking about a $20 million payroll that is going to come out here starting this fall for college athletics. If you were going to do it, now's the time to do it because I feel like at least you have the most understanding from a fan base that you are going to have. And intrinsically, it doesn't really mess with the game that much with the on-field product. Now, if you said, hey, you know what's going to be a good idea? We're going to sponsor this Mercedes-Benz, the Ohio State-Michigan game presented by Mercedes-Benz, and we're going to take it and play it down in the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. Okay, that's a different story. That's an entirely different wormhole. But if you want to throw a sponsor on there and make buku millions, tens of millions of dollars a year, whatever the naming rights of this game is going to be, I feel like fans would be okay with it because at the end of the day, I don't feel like anybody's going to call it that anyways. It's going to be the game. It's going to be Ohio State versus Michigan.
There may well be a different logo on the field.
I already got that, though.
But that's already happening. So we've already got used to that. You've already seen it on the turf, that there is a sponsor there. And guess what? Someday there's probably going to be one on the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So you're running out of other opportunities. And I love the tradition of college football as much or more than anyone. I've made it my life's work to cover college football. It's a
great life's work you've got.
I mean, I'm a giver, and I also take from it, but that's okay. The point is, we've seen this everywhere. I mean, I grew up going to Oklahoma, Texas,
mm-hmm.
and they had to change the name. And then you had people trying to change the name of Florida, Georgia, and you can't call it this, and you can't call it that. If you love it, you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you hate it, you can call it whatever you want.
Call it the shootout? You want to call it the cocktail party?
There may well,
by all means.
There may well be, Paul and Jim may have to say the game brought to you by whoever.
Yes.
I was going to say X, but that's Twitter. So we'll take that one out.
No, you don't have to.
It could be.
Because they might broadcast it for free on their platform.
You don't know what Elon will do.
I don't know. I can't predict it.
Nobody knows.
But whoever. Put any company, any person, anyone. Those are going to be the only people that have to do it. You and I on here, it's still the game. When I'm writing about it, it's still the game.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on Austin and Byrne, it's still the game.
How's that going?
Great. It's fun.
You two seem like you have good chemistry. You should keep working together.
I think we should.
I think they found a really good partnership in you guys.
It's exciting to be able to talk about Ohio State football because for 6 weeks I couldn't.
Yeah.
And only on an everyday basis. Anyway, getting derailed by the fact that if you don't want to call it by the sponsor's name, you won't have to. I don't think that any sponsor, any advertiser is crazy or dumb enough to say, well, we're not going to call it the game anymore. This thing that you said, SBC Classic, Ohio State, Michigan, no, that's not going to fly.
No, it won't.
You still have to say it is the game and then presented by whoever, which is the same way that the Rose Bowl does it. They didn't just say, well, guess what? Now this is the Prudential Classic or this is the
Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential.
Or the All-State. All-State did kind of get a little bit cheeky with theirs, and it's the All-State Sugar Bowl, but I've never called it that. I only call it the Sugar Bowl.
I just call it the All-State.
Yeah,
All-State
the
Bowl.
All-State.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you're not removing the thing that people actually call it, there's not going to be any harm to it. And as you mentioned, in this day and age of NIL and house settlement and transfer portal madness and all the other things, I think people would say, you know what? That is helpful in more ways to the fan base because I suspect that money's going to the players on the field. And then I get one less call to donate to Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about that. If all I have to do is hold my nose a little bit and say, well, they sold the naming rights, but I still call it the game. That seems like a pretty good trade.
99% of the other people out there.
Will that mean that some people are upset about it? Of course. But I think this current situation and the long-term benefit and ramifications, I'm now at the point where I can accept that stuff.
And here's what Ross Bjork had to say to the Toledo Blade earlier, I believe it was last year when he talked to them. He said, always protect tradition, but I don't think traditionally about innovation and modernization. You can't think traditionally, Ross, when it's about innovation and modernization.
That's a pretty great quote.
It's a really good quote, and I looked at it a couple of times today. I'm like, that's a good job, Ross. That's a round of applause for you. And yes, I think you have to be transparent and say, hey, we're in a revenue-based enterprise now more than ever. If we're going to peel away Band-Aids, let's start ripping them off sooner rather than later and get to a place where we're transparent about everything. We state our case. We honor tradition, knowing that we have this economic engine that's not going to slow down. And what's the way that you keep the engine going, Austin, is you keep putting gas in the car.
Yeah.
Okay? And if putting gas in the car is keeping that engine going and it's slapping a title on the Ohio State-Michigan game for Fox to broadcast it, for us to broadcast it here, then it is what it is.
Yeah, you have to keep shoveling coal.
Yeah.
And especially if you have to find more reserves of coal or gasoline.
Yeah.
Because people are now looking at the salary cap, and I don't think this can continue to go on forever. The amounts of money... I
think we've already seen it.
I do like
down a little bit.
The fact that this offseason is about Texas's spending and they get to deal with all that. And we here in Columbus don't have to keep saying, well, here's the situation. Yeah. It's roster retention. It's pretty unusual.
Listen, if Texas comes in here and beats Ohio State,
that's $40 million.
That's a $40 million roster over there.
$1 million per acre down there.
That's the way the world works.
Yeah. But I do think that there is a point where that will plateau and then maybe regress to a more feasible amount.
Well, even look at a school like Texas A&M. They haven't been able to continue to spend what they were when NIL first opened up. Remember their first recruiting class? Yeah. How many 5-star kids do they have? 12? They had 12 5-stars and 15 4-stars. Hey, look how much we're paying because of our NIL.
Well, it turns out they weren't paying it, which is why they left.
That is a true part in it. But also... That doesn't guarantee you wins. These guys get here for a year and they say, oh, okay, well, this isn't what I thought. It was all cracked up to be. Also, they're not paying me, which is a big deal. But
this check bounced.
After 1 year, those guys are gone. And Ryan Day, we had an opportunity to talk to him on the morning show. This had to be maybe a month ago now. And I asked him, I said, well, what's the recruiting pitch now? Because it seems like it's a little bit different. He goes, we're not really talking to guys about the amount of money that we're paying them out of high school. You get here, you work your tail off, and then all of a sudden, in a couple of years, when you're seeing big-time production here at Ohio State, you will get in the end what you are worth, no questions asked.
Yeah. I would say Carnell Tate is the prime example of that right now on Ohio State's roster because they had to fend off legitimate challenges. And I think there was a time let's not say what a dollar amount is. I know what ballpark we're talking about. And when teams like Oregon start getting involved or, any of the other big spenders in the transfer portal, you can imagine that it's well into 2 commas on that. So there would have been a time that Ohio State would balk at that. But this is a proven performer. They're not paying for somebody to come do that straight out of high school. And you can't get someone like Carnell Tate because there's only one Jeremiah Smith. Like, you're not going to be able to replace that as easily. So Ohio State will go above and beyond. Again, that comes back to what I said before. That's about roster retention. But if you're going to do that and you're going to recruit the highest level players in the country, which is a place where Ohio State wants to live and expects to live, and the standard will remain the standard, then that is expensive. And you're going to have to explore every single way that you can bring in money that you can, unless you're willing to sacrifice on the back end the results. And I don't think that the Buckeyes are, and I know that the fan base isn't.
One former Buckeye is about to storm a European capital. That's next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Hello, radio listeners. The Fan has a new weekday lineup. T-Bone and Tyvis hitting leadoff at 6. Bishop and Friends stays at 9. That's not new. Rothman and Ice at noon. You already knew that. Common Man and Timmy at 3. That's slightly different. Even more inappropriate, if that's possible. And Beamer is the new host of the Buckeye Show. You're welcome. Or we're sorry. Pick one. Get all the details at 971thefan.com.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could dump all your problems on someone else's back? Well, when you wake up to a clogged drain or a plumbing issue, make that Mr. Rooter's problem.
Call 855-MISTERS today or MrRooter.com.
Call Mr. Rooter. He'll be there quick.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
We're very close to Buckeye football. Very close. Uncomfortably close. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Brandon Beam and Austin Ward hanging out with you here on The Buckeye Show. Rhyme Time doing a fantastic job behind the glass this evening. What's a rainy, muddy mess here in Columbus. Austin,
you know what he's doing this weekend?
Who, Rhyme Time?
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing this weekend, Jacob?
I'll be going down to Charlotte for the PGA Championship.
Little Quail Hollow on tap for you.
Yep.
Who are you pulling for this weekend? Are you following someone around, or are you going to stay in a spot? What's your game plan?
So it's me and a group of guys. We're going to the tournament Saturday, going down Thursday night after the Buckeye Show, driving through the night, playing golf all day Friday.
Look at you guys. Look at you guys go.
Don't lump me in. I'm not going with it.
I'm saying invited. You guys for his group of friends. Okay, what a lucky group of friends.
And then Saturday, go to the tournament, get some transfusions, and just kind of hang out.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great
leaders probably won't tee off until like 2 o'clock-ish or so. And so we'll just hang out and then maybe follow whoever's in the final group.
Who are you hoping that's in the final group?
Of course, like Rory, because he's
big Rory guy.
He owns that course basically. It seems like
Justin Thomas, a nice bit of form too. He won there recently.
I think those are probably my two right now, Rory and JT, to be in that final group.
If you had a final grouping to watch, who would you say?
Well, I picked JT for the one and done this week.
All right.
So I'd like to see, and he's playing so well again, which is fun to really see that going on. And I've come around on Bryson.
Oh,
can you believe it? I know.
You sicko.
It's a bomber's course. I don't feel good about it, but there's something about him. I mean, I used to hate him, and I really despised the decision to go to LIV.
Hate me or love me, you watched.
But now I'm watching him on YouTube, and like break 50 challenges are amazing.
Don't do that.
They're so good.
Don't do that. My two guys would be Bo Hogue and Ryan Armour.
Oh, what a great choice.
Yeah, thanks.
Boy. Imagine. We're going to have to drive down if those two guys are in the final group on Saturday.
Yeah, you hear that? Is Jay Monahan the commissioner of the PGA Tour? All right, let's get us down there, okay? We need to do a live show on the 18th green. Well, have fun, Reimer. That'll be fantastic for you, man. That's very, very exciting. Austin, you were a Bengals fan via your wife,
right?
Correct?
That's correct.
You're not a born and bred Cincinnati Bengals fan.
I'm not.
But you knew the story that there had been long rumored that the Bengals were going to go over and play the Dolphins in Madrid this year, that they were going to be the team to go over there. That was dispelled today. A paper that I know that you follow very closely, Diario AS out of España, got word today that it will not be the Bengals facing off with the Miami Dolphins on November 16th in Madrid for the International Series in the NFL. Instead, it will be the Washington Commanders. So that means we get to see Terry McLaurin storm a European capital.
Yeah, and they're going to love seeing Terry McLaurin over there.
Who doesn't love seeing Terry? I was thinking about this just as I was putting this together a little bit earlier today. Where do you put Terry for all NFL guys when it comes to current guys on NFL rosters? He's way up the list.
What do you mean? Like Walter Payton guys?
No, I'm talking about just for Ohio State products in the NFL, statistic-wise, who are game wreckers in the NFL. Where do you put Terry McLaurin for current Buckeyes in the league as far as stardom? Because he's way up there for me.
I think he's higher on that list than comes to mind. I think that's a great point. He's got to be just amongst Ohio State players, which now we're talking, 70 players, a full NFL roster of Buckeyes.
More than an NFL roster.
He's probably not given enough credit, and that was also a theme of his time at Ohio State.
100%.
Just not fully appreciated. And now some of that was statistical output until the last, really senior year. but he was always there when you need him. And he was doing all that work on special teams. It was phenomenal. But now he's marrying that with just ridiculous and regular production.
And he's got a quarterback now.
Seems like that worked out pretty well for Washington in that scenario. So, yeah, I mean, especially as we're now at this point where the Bosa brothers are dealing with injuries.
Yeah, so Nick's still pretty far up the list. I know that Joey may not be what he was 5 years ago. He's still way up there, but CJ's obviously way up there.
I think given the way that CJ has played through 2 years and the fact that he's a quarterback.
They need to do some help with the O-line this year. I'm a little bit worried about what their game plan is down in Houston.
Yeah, I feel like they made an emphasis of getting him weapons first and then addressing the offensive line second.
CJ just throw it in 1.6 seconds. You'll be fine.
Which is similar to the way that the Bengals have treated Joe Burrow, which is probably not ideal if you look at some of the way the injuries have mounted. And you don't want CJ, I sure hope he doesn't have to deal with some of that the way that Joey B did. But I think given the nature of that position and the way that he has exploded through 2 seasons, CJ probably is the most famous / most productive Ohio State player.
I think it's got to be CJ, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think the notion
Jackson had a great year.
That Terry would be not in the top 10 is like he's got a legitimate case to be number 2.
I think he's got a legitimate case to be 1. The star power of being a quarterback in the NFL is something you can't even deal with, But you look at a guy who's been important to the organization and what they were dealing with Dan Snyder, and then now what they get to deal with their new owner and going back to D.C. and on the old RFK site and everything. Terry at the perfect time came into that organization, and they needed a guy like Terry, and now he's reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah, and I think around that time, those draft classes where Terry McLaurin was coming out, even then you still would have thought, well, Paris Campbell is going to be the bigger star, or Chase Young is a top 10 pick, top 5 pick in the defensive rookie of the year, and injuries derailed some of that. And same thing for Paris Campbell, dealing with injuries. He got himself a Super Bowl ring, with the Eagles and coming off the bench and contributing to them whenever he could. But you think about those guys, and even in the secondary, when you go through the years where you have, first round draft picks, and you have Denzel Ward and Marshawn Lattimore and Garyon Conley, and then Sean Wade coming through.
Jeff Okudah was up there.
Yeah, these guys and Justin Fields when he gets selected and he's going to be wasted and squandered by the Bears. Like these
facts,
these and then you kind of go, well, what about the string of wide receivers that are coming through? Marv's here, and Garrett Wilson's there, and Chris Olave's here, and you mentioned Jackson. It's like Terry gets overlooked in all those conversations, but he will be properly appreciated in Spain. There's no doubt about it.
But that's just so classic Terry McLaurin, though.
It is.
It's very symbolic of his time here at Ohio State and what it is in the NFL. Obviously, the Commanders fans and NFL fans know that you have a special one there. When you look at the playoffs this year, I'm like, that guy's maybe just the best player in the playoffs right now. That was unfortunate for them the way that the season did end in the NFC Championship game against the Eagles, but still, he's going to have a great time over there in Madrid. If you had to travel for one of these European, international games, where are you going? Madrid seems like a pretty good place to me.
They've done a few in Germany, right?
Yeah, Berlin. I think they're going back, either that or Munich. Is it Munich this year?
Either one. I don't care. I think they've got...
During Oktoberfest?
They've got beer in either one, right? I'm good. Yeah, let's go.
I think so.
They make pretzels?
Of course they make pretzels.
Yeah, well, let's go. That's where I would go. I like them when they're in Germany. I wouldn't want to waste it. You've already done this, so you can speak from experience. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't have a good time. But why would I want to go to London for football? That just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know why you'd want to go anywhere in Europe to watch American football. We got it here. You don't need to do that. But it is.
I don't even make it down to Cincinnati enough. Seems like it's hard enough. It's like, are we going to go to see the Bengals this year? Well, what's Ohio State's schedule?
I don't 2-hour drive. Deal with traffic. I got to deal with parking.
Let's just go to Europe to golf. That's it.
Deal.
Play a game over in Scotland. Not go to the game and just play golf. What's better than that?
Set something up on St. Andrews, or play it and then go to the game.
I just play the football game on St. Andrews.
I mean, their greens are big enough to hold a football game.
I think the 18th hole, you could fit a football field on there for sure.
Yeah.
Easy.
Rhyme Time is an idea guy.
I know he is. Jacob, just keep on rattling off those ideas. All right? So Terry McLaurin is going to get to face the Miami Dolphins in Madrid.
Good luck to the Dolphins secondary. Time to get cooked.
Time to get roasted. What about your Bengals today, man? I mean, the Trey Hendrickson deal and not coming together. No
what
communication is taking place between my camp and the organization post-draft. I thought this deal was going to get done for them.
It was trending in a direction that I thought was encouraging, but then reality slapped me in the face, and it was like, well, you're still talking about the Bengals.
Yeah, but they paid T and they paid Jamar in the offseason.
Okay, well, does that mean that they should just be done spending? One side of the ball is set. Who cares about the defensive line? Which, by the way,
drafted Shamar Stewart. You're good.
They haven't even figured out how to pay him. And that's all. There's not even a negotiation.
I saw that today.
That quote, I didn't like the pick from the start, and now it's getting worse.
He was very productive in the college level.
Great. Yeah, okay. Good one.
I mean, he wasn't really that productive.
He sure wasn't.
But he was really close a lot of times, which almost counts for nothing. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, my friend. Will this round of expansion for the college football playoff be its last? We got the college football pulse coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Social media is fun, but it's not the whole picture. Comparing yourself to what you see online can be stressful. For more tips on reducing stress, go to mha.ohio.gov/check-in. A message from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town-properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get one juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, one original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening. I'm Jacob Reimer. We already knew who the Ohio State football team opens the season with. That's Texas. But now we know the time of the game as well. The Buckeyes will kick off their season against the Longhorns at high noon on Fox. We'll also be here on The Fan. The Ohio State football team also landed a commitment from the 2026 class today. 4-star cornerback Jordan Thomas from New Jersey. This gives the Buckeyes their 13th commit in the 2026 class, good enough for the 3rd overall class. NBA playoffs continue tonight with the Celtics looking to even things up with the Knicks at 2 games apiece. Tip-off is here at 7:30 in the Garden, while the Golden State Warriors square off with the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 4 with tip-off from the Bay at 10. Minnesota leads that series 2-1. And we find out the winner of the Cooper Flag sweepstakes with who will be in the NBA draft lottery. The Jazz, Wizards, and Hornets each have the best odds of getting the number 1 overall pick. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Hour 2 for us here on a Monday. Brandon Beam, Austin Ward at Rhyme Time behind the glass, doing a fantastic job. But a great update, too. Cooper Flag, draft lottery tonight.
Yep, finding that out here in a couple minutes.
This guy loves to talk about Duke.
Just
never stops.
Absolutely not.
Basketball sicko as well. An absolute diabolical basketball mind.
He didn't even let that get 2 seconds.
Nope.
No, shut it down.
Nope. Not a chance. Was
True blue Tar Heel over there.
Nah.
He could barely get out that Cooper Flag story.
Sometimes you just need, little dookies in your life. I mean, you must be super pumped about the Bill Belichick hiring. I heard it's going great.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of great things there. This is why North Carolina is a basketball school. We can't be bringing football like this into Chapel Hill. It's a basketball school. We're trying to win national championships in basketball, not football.
Does the College Football Pulse have an update on the Miss Maine pageant from this weekend?
Yeah, I heard that was getting a little randy over there.
Oh, yes, we do.
Those set his eyes even younger, perhaps. What's the update, Rhyme Time?
Over the weekend, there was the update that that she was not allowed into UNC facilities anymore.
Jordan Hudson, yes.
And then UNC quickly responded by denying that, saying while Jordan Hudson is not an employee at the university or Carolina Athletics, she is welcome in the Carolina football facilities. Jordan will continue to manage all activities related to Coach Belichick's personal brand outside of his responsibilities for Carolina football and the university. And then, you had the whole ordeal with the pageant and everything.
Just come out and ban her. Say that, you can work with Bill and that's fine, but she's not allowed to work inside this facility.
Can we just get to the games, please?
I don't even know if he's going to be there.
If we get to that.
The way this is going doesn't make me think that Billy B is going to be on the sideline anytime soon.
I'm telling you
what.
It
seems like he doesn't want to be.
I'm all in for a trashy Bravo TV show.
Yeah.
This is as close as we're getting in sports right now.
I mean, we were so close to having College Hard Knocks in North Carolina.
Were we that close?
Yeah, according to the emails.
It would have been electric with how all this is playing out.
This storyline with the mermaid and the fisherman, the old man in the sea. I mean, come on. The old man at UNC. Now we're getting there. This is just...
Maybe they can trademark that as well with Chapel Bill.
Yeah, I can't get enough of this story. I got a little bit tired of the Deion Sanders nonstop coverage from the last couple years. Spring game, Deion's spring game. We got to have wall-to-wall coverage of this. Here comes Shador and Travis Hunter.
To be fair, I did like the idea that him and Fran Brown had, and I don't know why the NCAA nixed that. I thought that was a pretty unique idea that they should have allowed that to happen. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, and so I'm having to say Deion Sanders is more committed to being a college football coach than I ever imagined a couple years ago that he would be. I'd give him credit, and he's trying to come up with unique ideas not just for his team, not just for the individual players and NIL, but he's won games that he shouldn't have. He's done a very good job. I'd give him credit for that part. But the things that I thought about Deion Sanders, this is just a short-term boost. He wants out of there. Bill Belichick clearly wants out immediately. I don't think he wants to coach a game in the college ranks, and he made a mistake, and he wants to go do aerial acrobatics with Jordan Hudson on the beach.
Listen, Bill Belichick is an unbelievable football mind.
100%.
That's what he is.
It's not up for debate.
He's nothing else. He's not a media spokesperson. He's obviously not a great interview. Although some of the shows on the CW that he was doing, you allow him to get into the weeds and have some fun with football talk. He can go there. He can do that. But
Matt Patricia was talking about doing a podcast with him. That can't be real.
When it comes to being an innovator in the NIL space, Bill Belichick would have to be last on the list that you would want at your college.
That's what Jordan Hudson's for. She knows.
God, you're right. I mean,
she knows ball.
She's doing a great job. I'll give her that. They are getting press. Good press, bad press, doesn't matter. They're getting it.
Look at all the eyeballs. There were people flocking to Maine to cover a beauty pageant. Bill Belichick's there. I read the Athletic story.
The head coach of North Carolina football is there.
If you want just like pure comedy, someone was at the Athletic, someone who works for the Athletic went to cover it, and they posted a story on Saturday night, and they just had to stretch it out. Like, yes, Bill Belichick was here. He wasn't dressed like Bobby Valentine. He was in the front row, and then they kicked the media out. I was like, someone had to do this for work to cover North Carolina football and Bill Belichick in Maine.
I'm reading. Steve Buckley's the one who did it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great long piece about that.
Yeah, and it's like all of it is just having to rehash CBS News in the interview. It's like, yeah, Bill Belichick was here.
I mean,
and then there was a pizza party in pajamas.
Honestly, what's your guys' thoughts that he even makes it to the first game? Like, is he getting there?
Well, and it's supposed to be in Ireland, right?
No, that's next year.
That's next year.
That would be season 2, game number 1 for him.
Okay.
I think he will. I think
remember his buyout dips down significantly to like $1 million in June at some point.
I think he's only going to coach one season. That's where I'm at. Because
and then he's going to go be a beauty pageant judge?
Well, he's going to take control of Jordan Hudson's personal
media
brand.
empire.
Yeah. They're both, it's going to be a reciprocal relationship.
It's going to be like Succession. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
It's Bill Belichick is going to be the new voice of Succession.
Sign me up for that.
Reimer, what else you got for us?
So also from over the weekend, it was reported by Yahoo's Ross Dellinger that a potential 16-team college football playoff bracket is gaining support in the Big Ten and SEC. The 16-team bracket would include 4 automatic bids for each of the SEC and Big Ten. The ACC and Big 12 would get 2 spots each, while the group of 6 would get 1. There would also be 3 at-large spots. How do you guys feel about this potential new look to the CFP as we are fresh off the first 12-team playoff?
Yeah, you knew it was going to get to 16, and I think, Austin, you and I had talked about that for a while, and it just seemed like it was always going to be a stopgap between the 12-teamer until you got to 16. If you were going to expand it from 4, the 2 landing spots you could go to were 8, but then you start looking at college athletics and what we were talking about and potentially selling sponsorships for the Ohio State-Michigan game and all these different things with money attached to it and Fox and the Big Noon. It's like, well, if you're going to go to 8, then you may as well just go to 16 and blow right through the stop set. So this is the offseason in which the Big Ten and the SEC take control of the college football playoff, correct?
Yeah.
Or is it next offseason? I think they're already...
No, they have one more year, and then they can do whatever they want.
And then they can do whatever they want. So as long as the Big Ten and the SEC are on board with this, and oh yeah, why wouldn't they be? Because they get 4 guaranteed spots from the conference, it equaling 50% of your teams coming from the Big Ten or in the SEC. And oh yeah, guaranteed, by the way, that a large amount of those at-large bids would also be Big Ten and SEC teams. It's whatever they want at the end of the day. They're going to get it done, and that's going to be the way of the world, and we're going to get to 16 probably here in a couple of years.
I just don't understand the 2-year shenanigan period of being at 12. It was always unwieldy. Mm-hmm. It never made sense. Nobody liked it. Out of all the options that were on the table...
I tell you what, I like the idea of a 12-team playoff. The format in which we saw this year was dumb. Now, it benefited Ohio State. We know that. I mean, you went through Murderers Row. You got Tennessee up here. That was awesome. You went to the Rose Bowl. You absolutely crushed Oregon. You got a great game down in the Cotton Bowl where you had the scoop and score from Captain Jack Sawyer himself. And then you got to cap it all off with an unbelievable game against one of the other big-time football power brands in Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman being the head coach and ex-Buckeye. Like, you had great drama all the way through that run. And it was fun as an Ohio State fan to get to experience that. But the format in which the way they got to the 12 teams...
Yeah, now do the other side of the bracket.
Yeah.
How do we like Boise State and Arizona State? Like, that part was a joke, but we all knew that was a possibility when they laid this out. And they said, well, we could go to 16, but boy, I don't know. People like it. Is that too much college football? Show me one person who has said, you know what, I would like less college football in my life. If that's possible, could you take a couple games away? I'm just so spoiled.
Yeah, but the inherent benefit of winning your conference, and they still want conference championship games to mean something. And that's a good deal if you're able to get the bye. Now, it didn't work out. for Oregon, unfortunately for them, and Dan Lanning, and he's still losing sleep about that. He said on Bustin' with the Boys podcast about a month ago, that game still gives me nightmares. It keeps me up at night. It's a pretty big benefit. Now nobody's going to get that. Like, you got to play the same amount of games no matter what. I mean, it's going to go to 16. It's just, when is it going to go to 16? And then I feel like that's got to be it. You got to be done from there. You have to be done at 16. You can't go further in the weeds and say, hey, 16's working so good, we're going to go to 24 and have more games in the first round.
Just make it 64 like college basketball.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Well, now I would say that might be too much college football, but I just, it's so frustrating to me to watch the way that they operate, because clearly they were always intending on going to 16. And if they had just done that from the start, I'd say, well, that makes sense. I can tell you right now, Beam, that 3 years ago, someone involved in the conversations that was going to be directly impacted by this was saying, well, part of the reason that they're looking at expansion is because the conferences, like the Big Ten is talking about doing a thing where you could have, like, you know, the conference championship game, and then you could have 3 versus 6. And you have, this was 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Guess what they're talking about now? Reimer's just putting it out there. You have the 4 teams. Well, the Big Ten might have a 3 versus 6 and a 4 versus 5. Oh, really? Oh, that's the first time I've ever heard that. They always wanted this to be the end game, and we have to watch the nonsense of the last couple years. Or this year,
you don't
last
have
year?
to watch it. You got to watch it.
I got to watch it.
Okay,
right.
You got to watch it.
It was a fun ride,
and you got to witness an Ohio State national championship.
Okay, you win
out of it. Hey, there's too many damn Buckeyes on this NFL team, says one Michigan guy. That's coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores, so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 6-packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining healthcare.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts. And for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy skies, a couple of showers, but at least mild on this Monday. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Overnight will fall back down to around 60 degrees with a lingering shower possible. A better chance of late-day showers and a few thunderstorms on Tuesday with highs in the low to mid-70s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Someone out there probably thinks we spend too much time talking about the Buckeyes. Please tell someone that they're stupid. You're listening to the Buckeye Show.
Here's along here on a Monday. Beautiful weather we're having, eh, Ward?
At least we had a great weekend.
We did have an awesome weekend. That's what it's all about, spring weather in Ohio. Other than my allergies just absolutely roasting me.
I really thought we were done with the rain, though. I swear.
What do you mean
I should
done
know
with
better.
the rain? How long have you lived here? How long have you lived in?
13 years.
Okay, come on. You're better than that.
I don't know. It just felt like we were on the other side. I'm naturally an optimist, okay?
Here's a great point to anybody out there listening, no matter if you've lived here for one day or you've lived here for 75 years. We're never on the other side of it, pal, okay? It's always right around the corner.
Don't say that.
It is right down the street from you.
Don't say that.
Impending weather.
I was talking with television's Adam King this morning.
What a handsome guy.
He's the best. I said, how do you feel about jumping on a little Talking Tuesday for the beat? So let's record that. And, give Berm a morning off. And we like to mix it up sometimes, different panelists for me to talk to and bounce ideas off. And he was excited. He was pumped. Yeah, I'd love to be on it. Used to listen to you guys do this stuff all the time. Now I get to be on the show. Yeah. I said, well, let's go record it at the Woody. And he called me at like 10:30. He said, are we still on? I said, I just heard and looked at the forecast. It's going to rain today. I said, no, that's impossible. Not in Ohio, not in Columbus.
You guys going to do it outside? What were you?
Yeah, we stood in front of the Woody by the statue. I said, we're going to be fine at 1 o'clock. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
And we were. Now, the clouds were starting to roll in a little bit. We might need to wrap this up.
Hey,
might need to be done.
Never forget that, though. We are the San Diego of the Midwest.
I've heard that.
Because when it's good, you get like the Mother's Day weekend. You got an unbelievable day like you got yesterday for all the moms out there.
That's very catchy. I've never heard somebody say that before.
No, I haven't either. I don't know where it came from. So I was listening to, for whatever reason, Will Johnson, ex-Michigan cornerback.
Bad start.
Now draftee for the Arizona Cardinals. I was listening to him a little bit earlier. Well, I should say later in the week, last week, but earlier in the day, I was listening to that. And Will Johnson going to the Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals have a ton of guys now, including ex-Ohio State offensive line coach Justin Fryover, helping them out. And here was Will Johnson on his thoughts of being drafted to a team with the tied for the most Buckeyes on it in the NFL.
Man, fresh off the plane, I'm like, man, it's too many of y'all over here. They got to get me out of here. But, nah, it's cool. I was out here in Arizona training at Exos, and me and Denzel got really close. Ekbuka, he was out there too. We got close. I actually went golfing with Marv and Denzel one time, so I know they kind of eased me into it. So I'm good now. There's no bad blood.
That's fun banter out of Will Johnson. I was very surprised at his draft fall. Some teams taking him off the draft board with that apparent big knee injury. But you look what the Arizona Cardinals are doing. I mean, these last 3 drafts for them have just been all Buckeyes.
I mean, I think it's the same philosophy as how Ohio State, we talked about that in the first hour. You're looking for the premier powerhouse high school programs, guys who know that they can hack it, that they've competed at the highest level, that they know what the requirements are like in the weight room, and they travel around the country or whatever. Like, you know that you are built for it and you can get to the next level and still succeed. I'm surprised how often NFL teams refuse to adopt that same strategy. And I'm not saying that that's the only way. If you tried to take all 53 guys on your roster and they were all from Ohio State, like we always see that.
I'd like to see that in an alternate reality.
Yeah, you can build a roster, but like they're, of course, from different years and different ages and different points of their careers. Like, that's not really practical. So I'm not saying that a team should just like, hey, take an Ohio State All-Star team and try and win a Super Bowl.
I am.
Okay, well, you take your team, and you'll still win a lot of games. I bet that's true. But, I think we've seen other teams, New Orleans, have a really nice run of success. We're like, well, let's build around Buckeyes. Mm-hmm. These guys know what it takes to work, and they have performed at the highest level. And if you are evaluating 2 players and you have them in a similar spot on your draft board, maybe the tiebreaker should be, did they go to Ohio State or did they not go to Ohio State? And I think that you can win a lot of games that way if you take that philosophy. Arizona is the latest to do that, and I don't fault them for it at all.
Here was Monty Osenford, who is the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals. This was right after the draft for him when he was asked about this, and you'll hear a little back and forth between a reporter and him. Just by the recent years, it has been trending that the Cardinals have been the newest team to kind of pick up on all the Buckeyes.
It might seem obvious, but I'm curious to hear you explain it. What's the value of adding guys from a winning college program as opposed to getting the best guy at a program that maybe didn't do so well?
I think the first thing it starts with is, we're not taking them because they were at Ohio State. We're taking them because the value on our board, and it just so happened that they played at Ohio State, So, but I do think there is value in coming from a winning organization, and guys that are used to winning, have seen what it, played at the highest level, played in games that are really, high stakes and through the playoff run there. So, I know those guys, and then, I think another added benefit is the competition that those guys practice against every day. I mean, we said it when we were in there, like, nobody's had to have a tougher assignment in practice the last 4 years than Denzel Burke. The guys he's had to cover in practice. I mean, holy smokes. So, I mean, but, I think it really wasn't like, oh, man, where's the next Ohio State guy? It's just, hey, that's where they fell on our board, and that's how it worked out.
On Cody Simon, Dave, I saw late bloomer attached to him, and like he was defensive MVP in those 2 playoff games. Did you see that sort of working through him, especially his last year at Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, he really had a chance this year to kind of run the show for them, and I think his tape improved throughout the year. He had a really strong playoffs, and going back to that championship DNA, like you can see that in this kid, and he certainly has command of the team. And so when you have a command of a elite defense like that says something about your character, your knowledge, because they're not just going to look to anybody. Those guys are all high-level players that turn to this guy to give them direction, so that's a big factor in it.
And we were talking a little bit about that earlier with the Terry McLaurin segment. Guys, look at the way that they practice, and you go through that golden age kind of Ohio State defensive backs here, and we're kind of seeing you get back to that with their big-time commitment they got today. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a great point that these guys were mentioning in the high-stakes game that you're playing against, and look at how many reps Denzel Burke took in practice against Jeremiah Smith and against Emeka Egbuka. And against, name the guy who has been here at the same amount of times that Denzel Burke was on campus at Ohio State, and look at the guys that he went to.
Every single one of them. All first-round draft picks.
Yeah, name them. Just name the guys are on the top of your list, and Marv and Emeka and Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate and all those guys that you still have on the roster today.
Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba.
Yeah, they were here. Like that's real. And you also look at it from a Cody perspective, or you look at it from a Marvin perspective and say, well, look at the cornerbacks that he went against when they were at Ohio State. So, I mean, it's an interesting line of thinking for an NFL team. And to your point, not to say like, hey, we're only drafting Ohio State Buckeyes, but if it's a 51-49 split, you better believe that 1% is going to weigh pretty big that you played in some big-time meaningful games here.
And part of me just doesn't fully believe this notion that they wouldn't be using that as a tiebreaker. And you can say, if you're the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals or any franchise, we're not looking solely to take a player from this position and they have to have gone to Ohio State. Although you could have done that in this draft class because Ohio State had someone at basically every single position that you could possibly want to draft for. But I'm just saying if it's close, and not even 51-49, like if it's 55-45, the way that these teams handle the draft process and the amount of research and film breakdowns and things that they do.
Countless hours of interviews.
I think sometimes you forget, and they forget, how many high-level games that players at Ohio State have to play and the level that is required to do it, and especially coming off of this playoff run. Like, why would you be looking the way that question was phrased? Why don't you just take the best player available from a smaller program? How do you know that they're the best player if they're at that program? We can say, there are good players at other programs across the country.
Yeah, they're electrifying elite players at other programs.
And you certainly have plenty of examples of MAC players who become stars at the NFL level. But if you are looking at it objectively, and the game film is something that you are going to put up as number one, well, I would want those games to be against as close to like competition as exists. And Ohio State played 7 of those last year, and they played 4 of them in a row in the playoff game. And yeah, the offense didn't look great in that last regular season game, but a lot of those defensive players sure did. And you can carry that through. And it never feels like that gets enough weight at the level that it should, given the way NFL scouts and general managers and coaches all talk about, well, you cut that film on, and that's your resume. All right, well then,
go ahead.
Then why is Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau and Cody Simon himself, like, why are they available at this point? They cut that tape on and then tell me that that's not a valid guy that you want to be taking higher in the draft.
Especially Cody's. Like, you look at his career arc here at Ohio State, Austin, and you know it. You've gotten to know Cody throughout the years, and so have I, and he's a tremendous young man. And you look at everything that he has gone through during his time, and to come out the other side, to play the way that he did. I mean, remember his interview that he gave after losing to Michigan. He's in front of Matt Andrews. He's in front of a press conference. He's in front of a million microphones, sitting up there crying. I apologize. This is on me. Like, everything that he went through, and then to come out the other side and be a national champion. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a guy to root for, he's a very easy guy to root for. Or if you're out there looking for a team, it seems like the Cards. I mean, they got 7 of them now. They got Baron Browning, they got Denzel, they got Josh Fryer, who they signed after the draft. Of course, you got Marvin Paris, you got Matt Jones out there, and Cody Simon.
And it should be a natural fit. What do they always tell us every time that Ohio State's in the Fiesta Bowl? Well, Phoenix area. All these transplanted Buckeyes out here and Snowbird Buckeyes.
That resort you guys go to out there seems really nice?
Camelback.
Yeah, that Camelback.
I'm going to make a reservation right now.
That seems pretty good.
I might go to a Cardinals game before I go to a Bengals game this year.
In Europe, at least.
Well, wherever. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Go Cards. Let's do a little spring rewind. We'll talk some running backs with Austin here in 2 minutes. Morning Juice. No, second time today. Bad. Money goes into the swear jar. Buckeye Show on the Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of my favorite things, Wilson, is the look on people's faces when they see the end price for Pella windows.
Yeah, I'm always hearing, does it look like I'm wearing my money britches?
More like, I can't believe we get the Pella look and quality at these prices.
Oh, you went the other way with that. You're hearing good things. Oh, this is awkward.
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We here at The Fan believe there's no such thing as too much Ohio State coverage. You're locked into the Buckeye Show.
How do you take the NBA draft lottery and turn it into Buckeye talk?
I don't know.
Here you go. NBA draft lottery just happened. The number one overall pick is not going to the Utah Jazz, who had the number one odds to be the number one pick in the lottery. Bryce Sensabaugh, boom, plays for the Utah Jazz. Okay, then you can turn it into really whatever you want to talk about in the NBA draft lottery. I mean, Reimer, the NBA draft lottery, we've known for many years that people have said it is rigged. It seems to be the case that way this evening.
I mean, what a whirlwind for Mavs fans. I know they can still be upset for Nico Harrison trading Luka Doncic, but now they get Cooper Flagg with the number one overall pick.
So if you were wondering, the Dallas Mavericks came into the NBA draft lottery, who just won the NBA draft lottery, and will turn that number one pick into Duke super freshman sensation Cooper Flagg. Their number one pick odds were 1.8%.
Never tell me the odds.
Never tell me the odds. As long as there's still a yes option up on the board, that's all that matters.
It's crazy how that always seems to work out in the NBA draft lottery, isn't it?
You can't trade Luka Doncic and then be rewarded with Cooper Flagg. The world's not supposed to work that way.
I guess that was just the piece that was to be named later.
I mean, the three teams that were supposed to have the best odds, the Jazz, Wizards, and Hornets, the Jazz and Wizards didn't even make the top four. And then the Hornets got the fourth pick.
That is remarkable.
That's like being a Blue Jackets fan.
Yes, you're right. You don't have to say that to anybody, buddy. I mean, it's not the lowest of any percentage to actually win the NBA draft lottery. You go back to 1993, the Magic won it with a 1.5% chance. The Cavs got it in 2014 with a 1.7%. The Bulls back in 08 had a 1.7, and then the Cavs back in 2011 had a 2.8. So the Mavs, fourth lowest odds all time, or percentage points wise, all time, which winds up with the number one overall pick.
I think I know that Rhyme Time will agree with this. It's similar to what we're talking about with NFL teams drafting Ohio State players. If you're interested in the NBA, you got to go lean on a program like Duke, the preeminent college basketball program that exists.
And how many titles have they won in those past few years with all this?
I cover football.
I don't know how many have they won, Reimer? It seems to be on your mind. It seems that you have the number.
5, but it's been a decade since.
Okay, what about you guys? How many have you won?
6.
Okay. How many in the last decade? Come on, you're the Carolina.
8, but we've been to a title game 3 times since their last.
That's very fine. How'd that Jalen Brunson shot hit you?
This is the second time it's come up in a week. Oh boy!
Hey, I'm just telling you, that was an iconic shot.
He said his television went out. There was a bad storm
after the Marcus Page shot it. Yeah, that's all I remember.
Hey, as long as you went to bed thinking that you won the game, that's all that matters.
With the new pope who graduated from Villanova.
Hold on, everybody, pause here for a second. Turn your radio up. With the new pope,
this could go in.
As we're turning this into Carolina basketball
I could have started that better, I guess. But there, of course, AI is such a beautiful thing. There was already clips of the new pope taking over that Chris Jenkins shot in the making the shot from the clip, and it went everywhere.
It's great. It's fantastic.
What a legacy.
AI is awesome.
AI is awesome, and it's also terrifying at the same time. Austin, you and Berm, who also host a show together
we do.
On 10 TV Plus, you guys do a little spring rewind today talking about the running back battle here at Ohio State during the springtime. A couple of guys you're going to have to get used to saying their names because obviously Quinshawn and Trey leaving to both the Browns and the Pats respectively.
Yeah, I find it really interesting. And I didn't know exactly how it was going to go going into March and April with spring camp, but I suspected, because there was just so much excitement around James Peoples a year ago, and he would get into games and it would be like, ooh, the next one is here. He didn't have to play a ton because you had Quinshawn Judkins and Travion Henderson, But it's like, well, you're going to get to the future. James Peoples is inexperienced, but it feels like he's ready. And then Ohio State adds C.J. Donaldson, and that didn't necessarily change my thinking too much. It's like he's, playing at 200 and close to 250 pounds.
Guy looks like an absolute hammer, by the way.
It looked like a thunder and lightning situation. C.J. Donaldson will come in. He can be your short yardage guy. He can, finish off some drives in the red zone. Then a veteran guy looking for next challenge loses 25 pounds. This didn't show up necessarily when I was watching a lot of West Virginia film, but he's like, well, I ran track in high school and had really good speed. And now I feel like I'm the Flash. Ooh. He said that during spring camp. And you just look at him. It's like, got out to the first practice. We had 5 open windows during March and April. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's not the guy that I was looking at on film. And there's the way he practiced.
Body by Marotti, pal.
That, plus I think, this happens a lot. There's some similarity, I think, even with, just talking about Will Howard. Mm-hmm. And I think when you are, and this does go full circle to what we're talking about with NFL teams and taking Ohio State players, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but when you are one of those players out of West Virginia, out of Kansas State, you are not surrounded, and I mean this with all due respect to those programs. I think they're great. Ohio State, from the strength and conditioning program to the nutrition program, to the quality of the coaching staff, to the investment of the facilities you're in, it's different.
You don't need to preface it by saying that. We know that.
I understand, but I think that the results that you can get, if you maximize that, and look at the guys who've come in from the outside, and like Quinshon Judkins was going to be good anywhere. What happened to him in elevating his game? I see that happening, and I saw that happening even in just 2 months with C.J. Donaldson. His spring camp was awesome. And I had a conversation with Carlos Lachlan going into it where it was a spring preview. We weren't at the rewind part yet. And I was like, well, this just feels to me like it's James Peoples' backfield. Mm-hmm. Everything that happened a year ago.
Bell cow.
He's the guy. He's going to be the guy. And Locke said, think you might not be giving enough attention to C.J. Donaldson. Wait till you see what happens. And I will say, I think the way he's taken the challenge, I had to eat my words a little bit. But then once you got to the end, then you might have another conversation with the coaching staff. And they say, you're really you're right on C.J. Donaldson now. But now you're not talking about James Peoples enough. And so
it'll slide a hand trick.
Yeah, but that's part of it because now they're pushing each other. And you have Bo Jackson in there that's also pushing these guys to another level. And that's another spot where it's like, I don't know, what can Bo Jackson do as a true freshman? I've seen some of this before. He was injured a year ago. Is he really going to be able to compete and contribute right away? And the stuff that we saw, especially on Student Appreciation Day, man, I was intrigued, to say the least. So, again, now C.J. Donaldson hasn't had to be a primary front-line guy for a team that's in a national title race. James Peoples has not done that. And Bo Jackson,
I think he'd relish at the opportunity to get to be that guy, though.
100%. I think all three of them want that opportunity, which is why they're at Ohio State in the first place. But there's a different level. And this is going to be the challenge for them when you open with Texas, when you get into a training camp, when you're trying to be a starting caliber running back for the first time for the Buckeyes. That wasn't new to Travion Henderson. That wasn't new for Quinshon Judkins. They understood the expectations and what was going to be required of them, and they had met them, whether that was at Ohio State or Ole Miss. That was the benefit of being as experienced and veteran as Ohio State was in the backfield a year ago. That's not the case here, which is why I think this sets up a really fascinating year, too, for Carlos Lachlan in managing these guys. The challenge was different a year ago, okay? You had two talented guys.
You had two guys who were used to shouldering that load.
And they were willing to share it.
Yeah.
And I think that helped because you had to piece that together. But Carlos Lachlan had to fit the pieces together in a different way with veteran guys who both want the football a lot. He's still going to have that now, but he doesn't have the same experience to lean on with these three at the top.
I'm almost wondering from a recruiting perspective, from an NIL pitch perspective, from a transfer portal perspective, I don't think that there's any way in heck that Ryan Day and any offensive coach in this system, in this room, in that organization, in that program that would have thought that Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins would have worked out as well as it did. I mean, we were talking about both guys obviously being electrifying, and they do different things very well. And you look at Travion and his home run ability, but also his ability to get really dirty on pass sets. Like, that was a huge reason why he was drafted early. And you look at Quinshon and the way that he runs between the tackles and the way that he is able to explode through the line. I'm almost wondering if it was such a great success for Ohio State that now moving forward, it's like, hey, listen, we can go all the way back to 2002, and this was a big deal, and Maurice Clarett being very open and honest and saying that, look at the numbers, look at my carries. I have more damage coming into my body if I'm carrying the ball 90% of the time. If you go out there with an attitude that says, hey, guys, listen, we're really good at doing a dual set backfield. We would like two of the guys to maybe get 55% of the carries and the other one gets 45%. Or in some games, you're going to get 60%. One's going to get 40%. I wonder, not that it's found money at this level, but if that's going to be a recruiting strategy for them moving forward. Now, you will have some differences. You get a guy like Jeremiah Smith to come in to play running back, then it's like, okay, just hand that guy the ball 60 times during a game and watch him go.
Are there a bunch of those out there?
There aren't a bunch of those out there. So that's interesting. But to my point, that there's always unique ways to revamp your organization and revamp your roster. And I feel like they may have found one with getting Quinshon and Travion kind of on the same page. Look at those guys, both high second-round draft picks in a running back position that has seen nothing but the market crater in the NFL for years.
Yeah, I think that will be the blueprint, and I think that's something.
It doesn't have to be the blueprint, but it's worked for them.
If you can, and you may not duplicate it every single year, that might be difficult. That could be the case this year. This might be a backfield if Bo Jackson continues on this trajectory where you're managing 3 different guys in a 16-game season. That may be important. Also, Ohio State was fortunate that it did not have to really test the depth because Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson stayed healthy throughout that entire run. But and to your point, it's not like Ohio State just thought, you know what, that would be a good idea. Because when Travion Henderson was being recruited in 2020, I remember Berman and I we did a road trip. Initially, the first stop was just going to be to Evan Pryor to prepare him and make a video for his commitment. But we added a stop to Travion Henderson because there was something going on there as well. And so we talked to both of those guys separately, one in North Carolina, one in Virginia. And they're like, well, we envision this as a shared backfield because we're trying to get to the second NFL contract.
Yep.
This was when they were high school seniors. Now, it didn't work out that well for Evan Pryor here. Travion had the injuries, but now he's at that level that he wants to. Needed another year to get to that point with the Buckeyes. But he always had that vision. And I don't think that this is the first time that Ohio State was like, you know what? We should have more than one running back. Maybe if we can have 3, that would be great too. But actually getting to that point and then executing it is not that easy.
No.
Because finding these guys with that capability and with the, with the physicality, when you're talking about Travion blocking, to stay healthy, that he had problems doing that. And you look at the duration of his career, he wasn't the only one. Mayan Williams was dealing with injuries. Mm-hmm. Chip Trayanum was dealing with injuries. That is a taxing position. So
Trey Sermon dealing with injuries.
That's right, 100%. So the more that you can have, obviously, the better you're going to be. And then what happens if you keep them all healthy? Then that becomes the unit leader's challenge.
Yes, it does. That's an entirely different story when both guys are 100% on game number 10 of the schedule saying, okay, well, who's getting the load this week?
And look, we saw there were times when Quinshon Judkins would be heading to the sideline, and he wasn't real happy about that. So I'm not going to pretend like every single moment these two highly competitive, now NFL draft picks were like, I'm just going to the sideline. I'm going to be cool with that. You give that ball to somebody else. I don't care. I want to score that touchdown.
Brian,
it's not like that didn't happen.
Put it in the T formation. Give both guys a chance.
We could have seen that a little bit more. Maybe we will.
Bring back the triple option, I say. You'll find nobody in the world a lover of a triple option more than me.
You've seen Ryan Day work with quarterbacks, right?
I have seen him work with quarterbacks. I'm just saying in my own alternate reality, let me see Ohio State run the triple option.
Okay. I'll let you.
Thank you.
There's a video game for that.
That's not a real thing that's going to happen, but in my mind, you get a couple of running backs, one put up at the fullback position, the other one at a running back. I don't think it can go anything but other than winning 10 national championships in a row. We got hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan. Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia. Often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, you can save big on 2-pound packages of fresh strawberries. They're delicious and just $3.47 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
For over 30 years, Schumacher Homes has been building affordable custom homes throughout the Buckeye State. Experience true customization on your land, your way, without any compromises. Come visit any of our 9 Ohio model home and design studio locations to see the latest in design trends and learn about our award-winning building process, or start online at SchumacherHomes.com. You'll be surprised how affordable a custom home will be. Schumacher Homes, proud home building sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Your attention for some important programming news. Whew! Sorry. T-Bone and Tyvus are hosting mornings, weekdays at 6. That means Common Man and Timmy will share Bro Love at 3. My thoughts exactly. The Fan.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Everybody poops. Everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at The Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
#Buckeyes in our final segment here on a Monday. Brandon Beam, Austin Moore, Jacob Reimer. Buckeye Show is also sponsored by Coors Light. So those mountains are blue for you.
I'm not sure those mountains have ever changed color.
No, the mountains in front of us, if you're watching on the YouTube show. I mean, it is cold enough in here some days that those mountains could probably turn blue.
Did see the thermostat. It's chilly in here.
Well, that thermostat also doesn't do anything.
Oh, great.
It doesn't do anything. I've tried many times in my day.
That's why there's a space heater in here now.
Yeah. Hashtag Buckeyes. Emeka Egbuka apparently doing unbelievable things.
No, that can't. Are you sure?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers and rookie minicamp.
What?
Color me shocked.
Wow, that's just, I never would have imagined. Emeka Egbuka, the former Ohio State Buckeye?
Wow.
Is an NFL caliber wide receiver?
You mean the one that the Buccaneers had as a top 10 talent on their board and got him at number 19? That guy's impressing? That's shocking.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I was just yelling from the mountaintop. Why would anyone take any other wide receiver other than Emeka Egbuka? I can't for the life of me. Yes, I'm too close to the situation. Yes, I've had to measure my own golf game against Emeka Egbuka.
How did that go?
Not good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it.
Not many of those guys beat me at Fairway Columbus.
You're a great golfer. What's your handicap index? What are we working with over there?
It's like a 7 or an 8.
Okay. All right, we're about in the same boat. I think I'm like an 8.5, 9. I haven't logged the score. I think I have logged one score, actually. I'm more trending towards like a 10 now.
Where were you playing 2 weeks ago?
What do you mean?
It was like, I don't know. Timmy and I were doing the show, and you posted, nice Friday.
I remember this.
Oh, I was playing at the golf club.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Just because you get to play there doesn't mean you're good.
I'm just asking where you were because you didn't say. You were just like, oh, it's a nice Friday. Like, we were trying to figure out, do you recognize that clubhouse? I'm like, I don't know where that is. But we didn't get invited because I never do.
I'll invite you.
Oh, okay.
You can come along whenever.
Great.
Yeah. I don't know if together with a 3-man scramble, if we could beat Emeka Egbuka in golf.
His short game needs a little work, but he does hit it.
Whose doesn't need work?
Well,
go backwards, learn how to hit a ball 330 yards, and then you can learn how to chip.
Yeah,
that's the easy part.
We were at Fairway Columbus, and he just goes in there, and he's like, oh, I just need a couple minutes to get warm, and he starts with the driver, and the ball speed's 182, and I was like, I think this was a bad idea.
182?
I'm like, we're out of here.
What are you, Bryson?
It was crazy.
I mean, that is insane. Also did see this from last night. On the strength of a 43-win regular season, the Ohio State softball team is headed to the NCAA tournament. Buckeyes 43-12-1 learned their postseason fate yesterday evening as the 64-team field was unveiled. Buckeyes will get to be the number 2 seed down in the Knoxville Regional, Austin, where they'll take on Reimer's North Carolina Tar Heels in the first game of the double elimination Friday at 4 o'clock. Other games will feature Tennessee, who's the number 7 seed overall in the tournament, in Miami of Ohio, which is where Karen Kumar, the head coach for Ohio State softball, came from. So we got that to look forward to on the weekend. Unfortunately, Ohio State men's lacrosse did not have a great ending to their season yesterday.
We don't have to talk about that. That's a pretty spicy
hashtag Buckeyes.
Hashtag Buckeyes. That's a pretty spicy, saucy regional down there for softball because Tennessee really cares about it a lot. They built a great program. They tend to pack that stadium. You know, I mean, look at that. You have Tennessee, North Carolina, and Ohio State. Like, what more can you really ask for? You got 3 of the most prestigious brands in college athletics.
Tennessee's softball facility would be pretty good.
It's pretty nice. It's right down there by the river. It's a cool place to hang out. It's a nice place to watch a game.
Let's take the show down there on Friday. Do a little post-game reaction.
If that's what you want. I mean, you're the host, and I'll just go wherever you want me to.
Okay. We'll leave Thursday. We'll leave Thursday after the show. We don't even need to do that.
Well, somebody's heading down there in their vehicle after the show on Thursday.
Reimer, we're catching a ride with you. Is that all right?
That's fine. We got some room.
So you just go to Knoxville and then you make a left. So it's just 3 hours to Charlotte from there. So we'll, just add a couple hours to your trip overall.
Just get us over there, okay?
I don't plan to sleep before I golf on Friday, so it's okay.
Whoa. How old are you?
25.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't plan to sleep before I get down there and golf on Friday. I guess I would have said that in my mid-20s. Now there's just no chance. Well, he'll be in bed tonight at 9:30.
He did just come back from another golf trip, and he may have taken the no sleep approach, and I don't think it worked out very well.
Yeah, that one was tough.
No good for you?
No, the guy, I couldn't even walk the next when I got back.
What'd you guys do? I don't need to. You don't need to answer that question.
It was flights, like the air travel and everything. Was
cocktails and beverages.
Was playing golf in 30-degree winds and rain.
Mm-hmm. Airport Coors Lights, they'll get you.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us. Nothing in life better than an airport beer.
I mean, I came in here to do the show, and he's like, I had to call off the other day for the first time because I was dizzy and I couldn't even walk up the stairs.
That's called getting old. That's what that's called, Reimer. You know that, right?
Yeah, that was not a fun morning.
I can't wait.
I couldn't even drive.
After Thursday, when are you coming back to the show?
Monday. I'll be back that weekend.
Okay, so you're doing the weekend. You guys are coming. Yeah. You guys are coming back on Sunday, I presume.
Yep.
Coming back on Sunday. You'll have a little rest day. Then you'll be back in here on Monday. Do you think you'll be in here, or do you think you'll have to call off on Monday?
I think I'll be in here.
You think or you know?
I know I will be in here.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that.
We can't have another bout of dizzy spells.
No,
I'm praying that's gone. It's much better now.
That did sound terrible.
That doesn't sound like fun for anyone.
No,
it is a real thing.
It felt like I was doing the wiffle ball bat to the head, spinning around. It felt like that all the time.
Hey, what do you got going on tonight? Little Monday Night Raw?
Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Who's main eventing tonight?
I don't know. I've had to tell Lib. Since last week, I was in here on Monday night, and it's on Netflix, so it's great. You can start it late, and you can miss all the commercials. And I get home. I took my time. That's okay. Lib's watched the first 2 segments.
What?
She's like, I said, what had happened? She's like, I don't want to explain it to you. What?
If you're going to watch
You're supposed to wait for me. We don't have to deal with commercials. I let you stay up to watch the end of Raw. And Jey Uso and Paul Heyman are out there. And I'm like, well, what are they talking about? She's like, don't worry. They'll explain it to you later. I said, you explain it to me. You explain it to me.
You're the one who skipped through the first 2 segments.
So you'll get an update tomorrow on if she started the show early or not.
Everybody have an awesome rest of your Monday. ESPN Radio will carry us through. We're back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Talk to you then. Have a great night. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Soy has been keeping secrets, and it's ready to share. Soybeans are among the most versatile agricultural products. They are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we all love and use every day. Ohio is leading the way, developing new uses for soybeans to support our changing world. Soy low-key slays, and I'm here for it. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Donato's is bringing you huge savings on a large pizza.
For a limited time, get any large one-topping Donato's pizza for just $10.99 when you order online and pick it up. That's right, just $10.99. I'm going with that pepperoni. But hey, you pick your favorite topping, then pick up your large one-topping pizza for just $10.99 when you order online using promo code PICKUP. That's promo code PICKUP. Pick up your Donato's and